Welcome to the From the 108 podcast, starring the drunk uncles of White Sox Twitter. He's a Twitter-like whore, an Instagram thirst trap, and your grandma's guilty pleasure, Beef Loaf. A West Coast attitude in a decidedly Midwest body, My Sock Summer. And your host, he's sharing obscure music thoughts to give you time to hit the bathroom, Chorizy E.
Thank you, Cornsey. Welcome to the From the 108 podcast. Get ready for some baseball, booze, and bullshit. And remember the drinking rules. If Beef Loaf says allegedly, or that he wrote a blog about that, you drink. If My Sock Summer mentions his time on the West Coast or doesn't know a player, you drink. And if I swear or say, here's the thing, you drink. Also, you can make any of us shut the fuck up for 5 minutes by tipping $5. My Sock Summer, I talked to Mama Summer not too long ago. She is very interested in this, would like to meet me for a whole show. But you could also get 5 minutes of solo My Sock Summer for the low price of $69 tonight.
Yes.
You can also go to the link below. There's a link below in the description for 108 day live tickets. Those are $25.
Yeah.
Don't give us a $25 tip and expect a ticket.
No.
Go to that link. You got to buy them there. And, of course, you can make all of us drink for $1.08 as usual. And speaking of drinking, fellas, what are you drinking tonight? I'm going to start with My Sock Summer. I want to know what My Sock Summer
Dude, this is the best thing. All right, Saturday, we go crazy. We're going out, family. We go to this party. We go to TJ McFarland, former pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles, the Arizona Diamondbacks, the St. Louis Cardinals, one-time teammate of Dan Polka. We go into his basement. He's got all this bourbon down there. I see this big-ass bottle, okay? And I'm like, I don't know what this is. I don't know if it's any good. I'm not drinking it. I'm going to go with Knob Creek. I start drinking the Knob Creek. His father-in-law shows up and goes, oh, hey, what are you drinking? I go, I've been drinking the bourbon. He's like, you should go down. You should try this bottle. He goes, it is the best bottom shelf bourbon out there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the very old Barton is the name of the bourbon.
All
this
right.
This is a $16 bottle, okay? This shit is fabulous. I bought it. I had one drink of it. I was like, this is unbelievable. I fucking need to get this. And I bought one. It's a $16 bottle. Talked with my guy, Dougie Fresh. Dougie Fresh is like, yes, it's fucking great. The problem is all the goddamn hipsters, and it's funny that our guy Zach Sherwood is in the fucking the comments as K-Dog is too, but I don't think they drink bourbon because they're kind of sissies. They are all the fucking hipsters are buying up the very old Bartons. So you got to check this out, folks. If you like bourbon and you like 100 proof bourbon and you want a cheap one, this is it. Now, I also have 2 other bottles in my guy, Dougie. This is all for you, Sal. Fuck you, buddy. I got 2 more bottles just in case. Here's another bottom shelf bourbon. I've never had it before. We're going to see if it's total shit or it's okay. Both, I think, together cost me $30. So I'm going to have to – it's the Rebel bourbon. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be good or bad, but we will see. It's a wheated bourbon, so kind of like a Weller's, one of those things. So we'll see what happens. That's what I'm doing. How about you?
Beautiful. What's Beef drinking?
Oh, boys, man, just going through the comments, it's a bourbon love fest in there. Tonight, I'm taking a little bit of a risk for you boys. I normally keep it on the level, stuff I know that I'm going to be good with. Occasionally, I drink like a cheerleader, like MSS brought up with the Maker's Mark. But tonight, I'm going to take a little risk for Chorizy because I know he wants me to. And it's normally no free ads. But I'm drinking some Royal Escort 2009 vintage port from Prager, okay? I don't know if anyone in the comments ever drinks port wine, okay? This is an expensive bottle of port. It's an old bottle. I mean, it's 2009.
Dangerous.
Port is extremely dangerous. Port is 19. This port's 19% alcohol, right? The problem is it's nice and sweet, so that's at 38 proof or whatever, and it goes down real easy. You absolutely cannot drink it like regular wine. So I've got the little glasses. I got myself maxed out. I've already poured 3 glasses here, Chorizy. This is where we're going to max out with the port, all right? Except for maybe the after game show, then that's where I really get the hangover. But you can get a tremendous hangover over 3 glasses of port. That's what I'm intending to do tonight. One of mine and Treasy's best friends, Dr. Feelgood, he went out to a dinner. He's a real doctor in real life. He went out to a dinner with his partner. They ordered a bottle of port. They split it at dinner. He did nothing but vomit the next day. You do not want to go too far on the port here. So I'm taking a chance for all of you. It's to give the entertainment. That's all it is.
Like there are truly like if you know people that have had a hangover from port, like they always list it as like their number one hangover. Like it's the worst one they've ever had.
100%. Absolutely awful. Treasy, what are you drinking, my friend?
So I've got this bottle here. So I told you guys I've been working on kind of clearing out things from my bar, and I ended up in a situation where I had a lot of kind of little stuff to like floating around. So I took all of these things.
Oh shit.
Which is, and for you listeners, I'll read them off. God. I had a little bit of Malort left, a little bit of Suntory whiskey, and then I had many bottles of VO, Evan Williams, Black Velvet, Fireball, Jim Beam Honey, whiskey, and then some Jim Beam. And what better way to drink this than all together?
Yes.
A suicide.
I took this, and like this is my infuser bottle, so you could see in the bottom there's a little metal grate piece there. And so I put, I was like, what could kind of hopefully kill the taste of all of this and then still be able to be mixed? And so I went with a cinnamon stick and some apples. So we're gonna see what this tastes like. You guys, I haven't
tried it yet.
So you guys are gonna all live through this moment with me together. Let me pour a little bit in here. I'm 100% gonna mix this in a little bit, but we're gonna take the first swig and see how this goes. Let me get a little whiff here.
Yeah, what's the nose? What's the
actually?
bouquet?
Oh, it's got a little bit
smells like apple
of a. What's the
comments
best?
Comments are worried about you, Trees. I got to read this one right now from Andy. Andy says, "If Beef's getting a headache from port, you're going to be on life support, Trees." Love it.
It smells like it's like a doctor's office. It's kind of the best way I can.
Great.
Definitely sterilized. Let's see how this goes. It's it's super cinnamon forward. Like,
and you love cinnamon.
It's a lot. It's a lot of cinnamon. You know how you can't put cinnamon in your mouth without spitting it out? We're in that territory.
Yes.
So I'm gonna cut a little bit with some ginger ale. We're gonna see how this goes.
Oh God!
Just mixing more shit in there.
This sounds horrible.
Yeah, we just need more flavors. We need more flavors.
Sorry, mix it in.
Let's see.
Get it in there deep, Teresa. Get it in there deep, baby.
Sure would. No one wants to fucking get close to that guy's asshole. Trust me.
I'm feeling this now. This is a nice winter drink. I'm not I'm not too worried about it now. This is gonna be fun.
Man, it's
Beefloaf, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm pretty good, guys. I was debating talking about Elon Musk in the interim here. I don't feel like I'm gonna. Well, maybe I'll bring it up later on in the show. If we hit a lull in the show, I'll bring it up. But I want to let you guys know I'm not. My apologies. I'm not into politics at all. But Tuesday night I was watching the results of the various races that were going on, and I had to bring this question up to you guys because it just all throughout watching the ads on TV, the ads are just I'm sick of them. And but you see them all the time though, so like it's nothing you can do. You can't get away from them no matter what you watch. My question for you guys is: did JB Pritzker pay Darren Bailey to run against him? It felt like no. Big college football.
So Beef, did you see what happened though in that whole thing? Like you're on the right track, but what they did was like they put money behind Bailey to beat the guy that was running against him in the primaries.
That does not shock me. That does not shock me at all.
This guy's a fucking nut job. Like,
so they legitimately did. Like I assumed they showed it how
I'll put it in quotes because it's the PACs that could do whatever they want.
Yeah, right. Well, they showed it on TV that Pritzker funded his own campaign. Which you're a rich motherfucker. Don't ask for no money from nobody else. You fund your own shit, and so I appreciate that. And then they showed like where some of the money was coming from for Darren Bailey. But watching it the whole time, I thought to myself, there ain't no way in hell that this motherfucker, they think he can actually win, right? This guy's not going to beat anybody, right? And it was like, yeah. Cheers.
An Irish toast to my Irish friend.
It felt like in college football when the big teams pay the small teams to just demolish them in a practice that counts in the record. Like that's the kind of thing it was there.
It was like that, Beef. That's exactly how I felt. Like yeah, this team's definitely gonna win. Cheers, Gordo.
Cheers, Gordo. Appreciate.
I feel like there's more I'm missing here, so I gotta go back through.
Yeah, there's a one further down. I think
we got one up.
But it was kind of like, and it also like what smacked me in the face watching some of this stuff. Like I said, I don't follow it that closely, but there was there's a few avant-garde candidates, and I noticed that on the red side of the avant-garde candidates, it's like they all think that if they just act
we just did that
exactly like Trump, that they're going to win, and it's like you don't understand how he's charismatic and this is his bit. Like you can't just fucking copy that lunatic and be like, oh, that's going to work for me. None of you know how to do this. Only he could fucking do that. It reminded me of when in Sopranos, when Jackie Jr. tried to stick up the card game and he didn't realize the dissimilarities between him and his father and Tony Soprano, and he ended up getting fucked up. Like that's what happened to these people.
Yeah, I mean, there's charisma to a lot of this, right? I mean, like here's a good example of it. Beef. This is what it feels like. It feels like when you hear a joke, like the old Eddie Murphy thing, where he's like, people hear my jokes and then they go to work and fuck them up. Like that's exactly what this is.
Yes.
That's exactly what that is.
Absolutely.
So, it's funny because today, or I think it was today or yesterday, I saw the whole people were like, people are actually voting for Herschel Walker in Dr. Oz. And they're like, this is crazy. And I was like, motherfucker, Donald Trump was president. Like, president. This is like local election shit. You're thinking that this is nuts compared to what's happened? I'm like, come on. Like, I mean, the gloves are off, folks. Like, I mean, nothing. You can't be shocked by anything anymore. This is just, it's all off the rails. But yeah.
Cheers, Young. And yes, I would love to hear. But you know what? I think you misspelled it, though. So I'm going to give My Sock Summer a pass.
I have no idea. And I looked at that earlier. I saw it. And I guess it's from my people. I have no idea. I want to pronounce it in a very...
You're Puerto Rican people. You're Puerto Rican.
Okay.
Thank you, Senor.
So it's Puerto Rican? It's a Puerto Rican thing?
Senor Socks, no guarantee that we won't block you. All right, we'll see how you behave during the show.
I believe so, because Coquito's...
Conquito. That's what I just said. Conquito.
My cousin always made it, and she was Puerto Rican. So that's what I just assumed. Maybe I'm being totally racist. Who knows?
Way to go, you racist
You can never tell these days.
No, I wasn't going to bring this up. Billy Wires is getting up on me that Jeff Passan put his testicles directly on my head. Look, we had a little dust up on the internet. It happened.
He did it. Knocked your hair off, too.
That actually is a real picture. That's why I have this hat on. I'm protecting my receding hairline.
We are working on the sponsorship from Restore. So
I desire to have ass hair up here in the front of my hair.
When you start hearing Restore commercials and then Beef takes off that, you know what happened. Right. What you don't know is whose ass the hair came from.
Yeah.
That's always a mystery.
Mine's very coarse. You might like it.
And it always is slightly different color, so this will work great. MSS's hair is lighter than mine. It'll work perfect because it'll be just like the commercials.
Beef just has bangs of MSS's ass hair.
Oh god, that's not enough.
That's not close to enough. But we cheers you anyways, Mr. Hand.
6'9". I know.
Ooh,
don't
baby.
do it. Please don't
baby,
do it.
6'9". My Sock Summer, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good. So today I was going to talk about a bunch of different stuff, but then as Loaf has brought up now, like at least twice since we've been on this StreamYard call, he got balls dropped on his head by Jeff Passan. So Chirizi, or Passan, whatever the fuck. Chirizi, play that.
Do you want this one?
Yes. Yeah. No, this is the one I want. Now,
fuck.
I thought the other one where Beef looked like the lizard people from V was great. But when I saw this picture, I was like, this was made by somebody that doesn't even know Beef Loaf, just wants to fuck with him, and loves Jeff Passan so much that he wanted to fucking just fuck with any of his enemies. And this is how he fucked with him. He turned my man with the greatest hairline in Chicago sports into this monstrosity. Now, folks, I thought this looks familiar, but I can't exactly place where I had seen this before. Yep, exactly. That's where I saw it before. He looks just like fucking Carl from Aqua Tween Hunger Force. Now, I'm going to take this moment to apologize to everyone listening to the audio-only version of this, but you need to go on YouTube every so. Oh, look at I can put little hands next to Carl. Hey, hey.
So I think
If
you go to our YouTube, or if you've pulled this up from our blog, the picture's there, so you could see the picture, and then what you're gonna want to compare it to is Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Man, I haven't said that in a long time.
Oh, dude, what a great guy though! What a great character Carl is.
I don't know about great guy, but yeah, great character.
Great character. So, but no, I literally am looking at this going, who the fuck does that look like? And I'm like, fucking Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, 100% with the chest hair and everything. So, Loaf, I'm going to need you just to grow out a mustache next year at the end of the season. No, but just the mustache. Shave off the rest of it.
Oh, shave it down. Okay,
and just wear a wife beater and some, like aqua sweatpants. That are a little bit too tight.
I could do that. I don't have a gold chain though. You gotta score me a gold chain. Look, don't buy me any of that cheap electroplated bullshit.
No, you get all green.
Okay? Yeah, that's what he's gonna do. I know this motherfucker. I know he's in the bargain bin. Especially for every
plastic
for
one.
For
I got
me,
a silver plastic one. You got a gold plastic one, right? Or is that missing?
Oh my! That's too big though.
That's
the rapper chain. That's huge. That thing is like that's when you're pretending to be Run DMC. No,
you could be the Mexicar rapper. I credit Treasy with that joke because that was funny.
You guys are the worst.
Chat because we brought it up before this. Treasy, how are you doing?
So speaking of rappers, I want to give a huge birthday shout out to one of my favorite rappers, Warren G. Warren G's birthday today, and I feel weird. I did not know this about Warren G, and this is on Wikipedia. So My Sack Summer has paid for this to be there, so it must be true.
You can use it.
I don't know. Did you guys know this? Did you know that he's Dr. Dre's stepbrother?
Yeah,
I did know that. Yes,
I didn't know that, and that he introduced. He's the one that introduced Snoop. Like I had no idea. All this time, I was just living in a world where I thought that Regulate was his only claim to fame, and no. But dude,
that's how he got Regulate.
Hey, don't sleep on this DJ.
Career.
How dare you?
Prolific career.
I actually have a Warren G story. I don't know if I ever told you guys this. Way back in the day. I told you this, right?
This. Yeah.
Way back in the day when I was in public accounting. This was like right out of college. I probably out of college a year or two. We go out to Rock Bottom right there on State and Grand, basically. Yeah. Gonna go out for drinks. We're drinking beer. And I turn around and look. I'm talking to my one buddy. I turn around and look, and 2 tables behind us is Warren G sitting by himself, okay? And so the server comes over, and I asked the server, I said, hey, is that Warren G over there? And he's like, yeah, it's Warren G, but he doesn't really want to be bothered. And I'm thinking, what the fuck am I going to do? Rush up on Warren G? Like, hey, buddy, we're best friends and shit. I'm like, I'm just curious if it was him. I'm not going to go, man, who's getting a Warren G autograph? I love Warren G, but I'm not getting his autograph. I'm in there in business casual clothes, motherfucker. I ain't going over there.
Beefy looked at you. He's like, yo, Rico Suave, he don't want your demo tape. All right? Get the fuck out of here.
I could just imagine him walking in and going, listen, I am Academy Award winning Emmy Award winning Warren G. Could you please let everybody know that I would not like to be bothered tonight while I'm drinking my shitty craft beer from Rock Bottom, my Lizard Line Pale Ale. Please leave that. Tell everyone to leave me alone. It's like, I know no one's going to ask, but just tell them to stay away from me.
I like that he's Emmy Award winning. His TV shows were incredible.
Grammy.
I love it.
When you're in the middle of
always screws up those types of things.
Grammy, whatever. Fuck it.
Whatever.
I don't know. Shit I'll never win for 300, Alex.
Speaking of screwing shit up, why don't you do an ad read?
Oh, that's rude. That's just fucking rude. All right, the holiday season is upon us. Winter is almost here, and you need to have reliable transportation during the long, snow-filled winter days. And Mazda of Orland Park is here to help. Right now, Mazda of Orland Park has 88 vehicles in stock, ready to sell to you, the 108 listener. All sorts of vehicles that are highly reliable and highly rated by those who know that kind of shit. You can't go wrong with any of their vehicles, new or used. Mazda stands behind their vehicles 108%. not 110% like you would think. Maybe you don't need a new vehicle. Maybe you just need new shoes on that ride. Mazda is still running their buy 3, get 1 free tire deal that has been so successful. And remember, they will price match, so you can be confident that you are getting the lowest price. Interested and want to know more? Head on over to www.mazdaofOrlandPark.com and get to know their full lineup. Give them a follow on Twitter at ZoomZoomNation to get updates on all things Mazda. Mazda of Orland Park, home of the Zoom Zoom Nation. 8910 West 159th Street, Orland Park. 708-444-3200. Zoom Zoom.
Wonderful. Wonderful, my friend. A lot better than how my drink tastes.
Oh, hey, before we get into it,
downhill already. I love it.
I know Dougie Fresh was wondering, the Rebel, if you like weeded whiskey, this wasn't horrible. It's not great. I just tried I just put her the Rebel 100. I'm gonna give that a little shout. Let's see.
My Sock Summer's having a whole bourbon conversation with one person in the comments right during the show. I love it.
Now, hey, and by the way, it's not horrible. That's
listen. Hey, for $17,
we should get them as a sponsor.
Not horrible.
Rebel
not
bourbon.
Horrible.
Not horrible.
Not horrible. Dude, if we get anybody as a sponsor, this motherfucker, these very old Barton. Oh, it's unbelievable. The Rebel 100 is actually better than the Rebel 80 proof. So if you're gonna buy one of these shit bottom shelf ones, get the Rebel 100. It's great.
It's time for White Sox talk. You motherfucker, shut up. All right.
It's a great graphic. I don't know who did that, but
it is
that's
a beautiful graphic. Thank you, My Sock Summer. This is beautiful. All right. So as you know, or if maybe you don't know, maybe you've been smoking crack for the past few days and you're just coming out of it right now, a little bit like myself. And you're just hearing that Josh Harrison's option was not picked up. He was bought out of his contract. And Tim Anderson's was. So Tim Anderson on the roster for 2023 at this point. Beef, you posed the question that we're going to talk about right now. Is Tim Anderson on the roster in 2023? Does he make it to the 2023 team, or is he traded in the meantime? Beef, why don't you go first, because it sounds like you got some thoughts on this.
Yeah, so I normally I wouldn't even think of anybody in particular being traded off this roster. In fact, to me the most tradable guy is probably Liam Hendriks, because it's like you can remove a closer, you can cover over that spot. It's a lot harder to cover over other spots. But then the White Sox chose a manager, and they chose Pedro Grifol. And Pedro Grifol came from the Kansas City Royals. And all the conversations that I've heard when asked about the unwritten rules in baseball, Pedro Grifol seems to stand for them. He seems to be a big respect the game and respect the opponent guy. And it makes me rewind all the way back to 2019 when the Royals decided to throw at Tim and caused a bench clearing brawl because they wanted to throw at Tim after he threw his bat. And I wonder if there's potentially maybe a little rift in there. I haven't heard of anything of Pedro apologizing for all that shit, bending the knee, getting in front of Tim and making sure that everything is going to be all right. Now, my guy, I couldn't stand him, TLR. He was ready to fight for Tim at all costs. And I wonder if Pedro maybe doesn't have the same backing there. So I got my conspiracy theory brain going and said, maybe Tim Anderson is on the block. And we talked about it last podcast, Treasy. There is a nice batch of shortstops out there. They're all going to get paid. But someone is going to be left in the musical chairs without a fucking shortstop, without a high-end shortstop.
Oh, yeah.
And will one or multiple of those teams come calling for Tim Anderson? Well, the White Sox see this as an opportunity. We talked about this as well, that they have expiring contracts this year. And there was the theory that maybe if 2023 didn't go well, that they could do a slight reload into 2024. Why not start that now? Truth be told, they can start that now. The contracts that are expiring this year are kind of ones where you're a little iffy on. Lucas Giolito, I'm not sure where he's at. And Yasmani Grandal, I'm not sure where he's at. So Jose Abreu's moved off. Maybe this is where they start off in the launching pad. And so my brain went down the path. We created a trade in our All Trades blog where he went to Atlanta for a handful of pitchers. Miami's got pitching depth where they could probably do the same thing. And they're desperate for hitters. I looked up who played shortstop primarily for them. It's something called Miguel Rojas. Yeah, who cares? They could really use a guy there, right? So my brain's percolating. I'm curious if you guys also think there's a shot that Tim could be somewhere else.
MSS, what are you thinking here?
So I look at this question and you proposed it, and I was like, you know what? I don't know. I don't see you trading the most popular athlete, that the White Sox have had, in a long ass time, right? Like Tim Anderson has kind of like he's become the person that you would expected them to do with other players that have been here in the past. They finally put their money behind somebody, and then you have some weird allegations that come out on Instagram and they get fucked. Just like a true Sox thing, right? Like you finally take the jump into the pool and you're like, God damn, it was cold. I knew it, but you know what you got to do? You got to fucking swim. Anyway, Tim Anderson, I can see potentially like getting dealt mid-season if this team shows up and lays a big shit right on the field. Like I can see a lot of this team getting fucking traded if this team comes up and shits all over itself again. I'm not going to name the tweeter. I'm not going to name who said it. But there was something put out there on Twitter that said, hey, like they're going to look to rebuild if things don't go right, and they're going to try to get rid of a lot of people on this team. And we bounced the idea around with some like really technical, smart people of White Sox Twitter. And we're like, hey, we could potentially see this if this team lays an egg. And I believe that. I believe that they will trade away a lot of this team at the deadline or, before the deadline to get pieces to try to rebuild if they have nothing going into this. And I think Tim Anderson is included in that. I think it would be a mistake. I think Tim Anderson, not only being my daughter's favorite player ever, being one of the nicest people that I've ever met, quietest person I've ever met, has an insanely attractive wife who goes to games and walks around the park and embraces fans and talks to fans. I think it would be a big mistake, but I can definitely foresee it happening if they lay a big egg. So don't lay an egg.
Yeah, I don't see it. So, and here's why I don't see it. I look at the comments, and people are like, "Yeah, absolutely, Tim Anderson is tradable. Let's get him out of here. Like that's fine." And we're talking about it. Even the fact that we're even talking about it just makes me think there's no value there. Then, like if everyone's ushering the guy out the door, there's not any value. And when you think about it, like, yeah, Beef, you're right. Someone's going to be left out of this, but there's tons of teams that suck that have good shortstops or good players that could play shortstop, right? I mean, like, we talk in the trades that we did. I mean, like, Ketel Marte is a good example. Like that is a guy that you could easily plug in at shortstop. He's not a great shortstop. He's not even a good second baseman.
He's the same price year over year as Tim, basically, and his contract's way longer. Everyone will go for Tim first.
Well, yeah, but you give him way cheaper because you're the Diamondbacks. You're not doing anything. But the Sox are going to put up there like, hey, we're trying to compete, so we want major league guys back because or guys right at the precipice of Major League Baseball. So it's going to make it very difficult for them to trade a guy like Tim Anderson. There's not a lot of teams that are going to match up well for that trade. And the teams that do typically have enough money to just go out and get one of these guys. And Beef, let me pull up the list of the shortstops that are, because we have the second baseman and shortstops that are available. Yep. And like you're looking at, Xander Bogaerts, Carlos Correa, we've got Trey Turner available, Dansby Swanson. Like that's a lot of guys out there. And then the trade market is after that, right? Like, so correct. There's not going to be that many teams bidding. So they're going to lowball you. So like, I don't see the Sox having put as much non-baseball capital into Tim Anderson as they have, going, yeah, this is the guy that we're going to move from the team and then take some half-assed return from some team that has other options available to them via trade. Yeah, Alcides Escobar was not on my list, nor is Didi Gregorius high on that list.
I mean, I get your point there, Treasy. Only more so they've invested a lot of marketing capital into them, but it's not like that's never happened before. Remember when Swisher was doing the worm and all that shit? And they couldn't wait to get him out of town, and it was in 1 year. And he was the spokesman of that team. If no one remembers that, the 08 team that won the division, he was the guy that they brought in free agency, and they signed him to a longer-term deal, and they gutted him almost immediately. He had a little bit of a down year, and that was it. They just got rid of him, and he was the guy on all the billboards.
This is
He's a dick.
If your earlier point was correct, which I glossed over because I think it's not, is that Grifal doesn't like Tim, or
I don't know. It's a conspiracy that he might not be.
End up butting heads. Like I feel like that gets taken care of in like a conversation of like, hey, look, you showed us up. This is how we play baseball. We're going to throw at you. If someone shows you up this year, we're going to do the same. And, I'll be out there with you fighting whoever it is. That's a conversation that those two can have. And if Tim says, fuck you, you did what you did, then they're butting heads. And I get where you're coming from. But if Tim just goes, just like with La Russa, who like there had to be some bad blood coming into that with the political views between the two of them. They had that chat. They figured things out. Like, I assume that the same thing can happen. And
yeah, thanks, Mr. Han. I appreciate that. Swisher was acquired in the trade. My apologies. That's right. Because I remember they traded real assets for him, and then they got like Wilson Betterment back. When
who did they trade for
the next year? I'll have to look it up. I don't
literally
know exactly.
Like, who did we trade to get bullshit Nick Swisher?
Nick Swisher was a good player. He just had a shitty year with the White Sox.
And because he was a dick.
Yeah, he went and hit like 30. He went and hit like 30 home runs the next year, right?
He was great with the Yankees right after that. He was terrific with the Yankees.
Did he go to the Yankees right after that, or did he go to Cleveland right after that?
He went to the Yankees.
He went to the Yankees. We traded him to the Yankees because Wilson Betterment did come back in that trade. Okay. I remember that.
Yeah, he was bad. So the trade that sent him to Oakland, the White Sox sent this is Faustino de los Santos, Gio Gonzalez, old friend alert. I mean, Gio Gonzalez was a very good player, and Ryan
was
Sweeney.
Really good for them.
And then what they got back from the Yankees was Wilson Betterment, Jeff Marquez, and Johnny Nunez. So they really just like they let themselves get arbitrage there. That was so terrible. Like one of Kenny's worst sequence of moves that I could remember.
Yeah, the Gio Gonzalez one hurt. That's the one that hurt because we had at that point had we traded for him back, and then we traded him again.
I can't remember. I don't know. I don't want to go down all the way down the.
We traded him like 7 times and then signed him back at the end of his career. It was just. So
I'm saying it's not without precedent to take a player that is heavily marketed and trade them
if he's very much disliked by the manager because Ozzie hated him.
Yeah, and I guess you could say the same for Chris Sale. Chris Sale had a similar thing, right, where they had the butted heads and that they were trading them. He was a guy who was heavily marketed. They had the K zone, So I don't think I get your point on that, Treasy. I don't think it's as valuable as you think. I think shit can turn like that on someone. You're like, oh, we're heavily invested in promoting them. Wait, nope, we're not anymore. Goodbye.
No, I get that. But in this case, if the return is really good, and like that's where I'm having trouble. Like we went through every team. Right. And like trying to trade with them, and like it was a rarity that I would think like, yeah, this is the team where it makes sense to send Tim Anderson. Yeah, and we'll see though. I mean, like we'll see how this all plays out because you could see a scenario, the way that we saw with the Rangers last year, where 2 of the shortstops come off the market to the same team.
Yeah,
right. Yes. I mean, like, and so like if we see something like that, yeah, the Tim Anderson market then. Becomes something. I think the Liam Hendricks market is hotter than the Tim Anderson market. If I'm looking at the what's out there right now.
Real quick, Treasy, Billy Wires would like to know how the gas station cocktail's treating you.
It's really weird. There's like it tastes fine, but it's got Malort in it, so like it's got a strange aftertaste. Yeah. So what the problem with that is that I keep drinking it. To knock out that aftertaste. it's a vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle. We'll see how it goes. That's why I'm kind of speeding the guys through all this stuff so that I could go die.
Well, hold on. I wonder now, you just sparked something in my brain, and I'm sorry for this, but the Tim Anderson, not only the marketing aspect, but also off the field stuff. He does the ACE program. He does all the stuff with the young kids and all that. So that did you mention that, Treasy? Because
but that's kind of like that's what I'm saying. Like,
but that's something that might be a little more
baseball capital.
Yeah,
because that's time and money that they spend on his stuff.
And plus, it's going to be hard to replace that. Like, it's not going to be easy just to get that. Like, he might have, he's got a leg up on anybody else. Like when you're talking Chicago youth playing baseball and trying to help disadvantaged youth or people that don't have access to the resources. Tim Anderson is a fucking great, spokesperson and as a figurehead for that movement. So I guess all we can really say is, you're fucking wrong, Loaf. All right, let's move on.
Well, no, I can't wait till he's traded in like 2 weeks. That's gonna be funny. Teresa, you mentioned the doubling up like the Rangers did. The big swinging dicks are in the marketplace for the shortstop and the third baseman, basically. Like the Yankees are in the market for both. The Dodgers are in the market for both. Like it's scary, and like the right teams.
Possible.
The right teams are in the marketplace for the shortstops. So, like, it could get to the point where it's like, someone really wants them, and they're going to offer you some shit.
The other scenario, too, Beef, is the team that is not that good coming out of nowhere and paying up, right? Like, so when you cheers, Bill.
Cheers.
Yeah, thanks, Bill. And thanks for buying a ticket. Appreciate it.
Cheers. Bill, don't buy Rebel vodka or bourbon unless it's Rebel 100. It's not good.
So Beef, to that point though, like like there's teams that we're expecting and we're going like, they might buy up. But last year Texas was a surprise.
Yeah,
Minnesota was a surprise. Like imagine if the Cubs came out of nowhere and it paid for one of these shortstops. Like the Cubs get Xander Bogaerts. Yep. It blows the whole market apart. Like like you don't like, and that's we'll talk about this when we talk about our trades, but I think the Cubs are one of the more interesting offseason, them and the Red Sox. Like they could go either way. Like they're definitely one of those teams that are just like kind of on the we could sell or we could pay for everything. Like it's a weird spot to be in. So like there could be teams that come out of nowhere, and when those teams come out of nowhere, then the players start to run out, and then it does develop a trade market. It's hard for me to see. There's two things about this. There's the one part where it's hard for me to see where the Sox could get enough back for Tim Anderson to make it worth it for them to trade. And then there's the other part of it where it's just, this is more me and like my heart and soul going, like, I don't want to trade Tim Anderson because I don't think Rick Hahn could execute that trade.
Fair enough.
Like, I don't think he realized, like, I don't think that he's going to get enough. And I don't think any GM necessarily would execute this trade that well, that where there's extra, like it'd be like trading Jose Abreu, where it's like, there's an extra piece to this that you're possibly going to, that you can't value in a trade. And so I think that's problematic. And I think that'll keep it from happening. All right.
That's fucking smart talk. Smart talk by Teresa E.
Now, and Beef, I'm not talking about extra as in like, this is a special kind of guy. I'm talking extra as in this guy generates revenue for you without even being on the field. And that's hard to trade. But second base, let's talk about second base. Josh Harrison's out.
Yeah.
This market of second baseman is horrible. Like
yes.
Gene Segura's your best bet there. He's 33 and he's okay. Right? I mean, like that's like you could look at the rest of this list. I'm not going to read it off, but the big names that you would recognize, Robinson Cano, who has been on every team at this point in their minor leagues, and the Pirates don't even want him. You got Adam Frazier, who everyone wanted to trade for and is terrible now. Josh Harrison, we just got rid of. Cesar Hernandez, we would not bring back. Who's the next one on that list, my sex summer?
Oh, you go for it. I'll let you do that.
Okay, Ruben Ordo is on there. I fucked it up.
Scaredy Wang. He's got Scaredy Wang to say it.
And
then, like after that, there's nothing. Like Jonathan Villar is probably like the best after that.
Brandon Drury hit a little bit last year. I mean, like there's like half guys.
There's
on
like
that list. It's not great.
There's crap in there. So like, it's likely that the Sox who have really been re-emphasizing that they're not going to go out and buy a free agent. They're more looking in the trade market. There's not much in the trade market either. We went through every damn team and there's really nothing out there to get. It's probably going to be an internal option. And there's a lot of internal options. There's not a lot of great internal options, but there's a lot of internal options. So let's go through them. And we're going to start with Romy Gonzalez. So my sex summer, I'll kick it to you first on Romy. And what do you think about Romy Gonzalez?
I mean, what is there to think? A guy that has like a good bat every so often, It seems like is an okay defender, can be out there and play. I've never been like, God damn it, why is he out there while he's playing? I'm sticking with the eye test, the gut test with this guy. I just don't think that it's not overwhelming. I mean, when I hear my GM who is giddy and can't contain his excitement about the fucking manager and is saying we have plenty of internal options to replace, Josh Harrison at second base. He didn't say Josh Harrison, obviously, but as the second base candidate, we have internal options. I want you to be giddy about who you're going to fucking throw out there on the goddamn field. Be excited. And I don't think that Romy fits that bill. He could potentially become that. I don't know. Let him do that in the fucking minors. You don't need to see it here. We're in a contention window. Get somebody that's decent.
Beef?
I'm going to repeat that for every other guy, too.
Teresi, we had long conversations about Romy in the second half of the season because for a little bit we were excited because he does have a little bit of thunder in his bat, right? When he makes good contact, he's got pop. He's got legitimate major league pop. The problem is actually making that contact. So I caught a Fangraphs chart of the White Sox hitters after Miguel Cairo took over. After we got the big bump, man, we got rid of the mean old guy. And Romy Gonzalez struck out 41% of the time in that period and took 0 walks. 0, not 0%, 0.0% was his walk rate during that time. Absolutely brutal. I took a deeper look at him from Double-A through the majors. So all the time that he spent at those levels, I think it's 628 plate appearances. He's striking out a little over 30% of the time. So even at upper level minors, when you're striking out 30%, that does not project well in the major leagues. More bad news, Treasy. I went to Baseball Savant and said, well, how's he getting messed up here? Maybe, he's like Andrew Vaughn, he has a problem with the slider or whatever, and it's something maybe he could fix, or he just kind of no, that's not it. Fastballs are absolutely fucking murdering him in 2022. Particularly the four-seamer is just dominating him. He's having all kinds of problem with just regular old fastball velocity. That doesn't bode well. He's a good athlete, and there are Steamer projections out already, and so Steamer projects him to have a 91 WRC plus. So far in the majors, and it's been limited cups of coffee, he's had a 68 WRC plus. And it projects him as an effective defender. I think we saw that. I think he's athletic. He can play some spots. The bat is a huge question, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the thing that I like about Romy is that it seems that he's quick side to side, which means that when we get rid of the shift, we are going to need a guy that's going to be able to cover ground like he can. He's got an arm. He could play shortstop. He could play the outfield. So defensively, I'm not against him.
Right.
But at the plate, as you mentioned, and one of the things that is difficult at the plate, Beef, and this goes back. Let's go back a few years back, sitting in 108 when there was no one there, and it's us and Aloha Mr. Hand, and Madrigal's coming up through the system, and he's just like, I hate the leg kick, man. The leg kick. You're not a power hitter. What's the leg kick? And then talking to our guy Adam Panayotovich, he's like, same complaint about Romy is like, what's with this leg kick? This is just outrageous leg kick. And if you just look at his approach at the plate, it's so bad that you have to wonder, with a guy like Grifol coming in, and hopefully he brings in some of that that new hitting instruction from
Mike Tossar.
Right. Let's say he brings in him, or he brings in the guy from AAA, and they're just doing kind of a similar system, and they can encourage walks and do all this. You have with Romy, I think they would have to take him and not go let's tweak this or that. They would just have to be new stance, new everything.
We're starting over with you.
We're just gonna start over. And can you do that going into a season? I just don't feel like you can take that kind of risk going into the season.
Yeah, but it might be the only way to save his career. I agree with you.
No. I
stripping
agree.
it down and starting over might be the only way he can do it for himself.
That sounds great in AAA. Go do that in AAA. And if you figure it out, My Sox Summer's right. Go to AAA, figure it out. And when someone gets hurt, you come up and blow us all away. I love it.
Come in to be the first guy off the bench. You know what? Maybe that will motivate you a little more. But there was like you said, Love, there was nothing that came out from this that was I need to have this guy next year. He needs to be on my team. So Yeah, no. Fuck
You're right, MSS, because you could tell, because the usual people that are like, oh, okay, the White Sox are out of it, this guy needs to play. That shit got real quiet real quick. It was like, oh, everyone stopped screaming. All the prospect people stopped screaming from the mountaintops because the guy stinks right now in the majors. It's like, oh, well, it's tough to watch him hit. I don't want to do it anymore. Not saying we're giving up on the guy, but you're totally right. It's like, well, it's not a thing right now.
All right. So next up is Lenyn Sosa. So it's similar power. There's some power there. But, you know, what do you guys think about this beef? What do you think about Lenyn Sosa coming in and being the day one starter at second base?
So last year, Lenyn Sosa was a total pop-up prospect. He'd always been someone who was like ahead of his age at all of his levels, but the power never realized itself, and he swung a lot, but he made a lot of contact, and the walks kind of never got there. And then he started walking more. He started hitting for more power. And next thing you know, he was the best thing since sliced bread for a lot of people. And I wrote a blog when he came up and had his cup of coffee because there was all kinds of screaming and yelling about Lenyn Sosa should be playing all the time. And he was up for like 5 days because he was just kind of filling the spot. And he got a reward. And I thought that was great. And I thought the people who were screaming he should be playing all the time are fucking lunatics. And I still think they are. They were nuts. And he played the majority of the time when he was here. Like he got 10 of the 14 potential plate appearances. So when you hear people screaming about they need to play this guy, just actually look at the box scores, and they are fucking playing him. So then maybe you shut up, you know. But he had a hard time his first cup of coffee. The second time he came out was after Tim got hurt, and we're like, okay, now they got to play him. No choice. He came up in Kansas City, hit a home run kind of right away. I think we were doing a playback, and he fucking homered, and then he didn't do shit after that. He was very overmatched. He needed to be demoted again. Now the stats when he went back down to AAA are good. Like he had a 118 WRC plus, 352 on base percentage. He had 9 homers and 247 plate appearances in AAA. So he produced, right? He kind of got his shit together there. He's another guy who probably just needs a little more seasoning. He's probably not like. Could you throw him? Could you Jacob May him into second base? You remember Jacob May?
I almost run. I was going to bring him up.
I was actually going to bring that up too. That's exactly where I was going to go, and I don't want to interrupt you.
Him into it? No, because you tried with that with Jacob May, and it did not happen. Like that motherfucker.
MSS, I don't want to interrupt your stuff here, but this is where I was going to go. And Beef, I was going to say, like I think Lenyn Sosa is the upside play. He's the guy with probably the best upside of the what we're gonna look at, but he's got, like, I would put him, assuming a guy we're gonna talk about in a little bit is not available. I'd put him going, say, hey, you're the starter when we start spring training, and it's yours to lose. Like that's the guy I would give it to lose. And if he kills in spring training, then we allow him to Jacob May his way through the season. But if he doesn't, I think you back into the safer choice of Romy Gonzalez, where you go like, I know he can feel the position, and I know that that will be all right, and he'll bat ninth. Like that, we're gonna have a little bit worse, maybe just as good as Josh Harrison out of Romy in the field. So I think that's where I would go with that. My Suck Summer, where are you at with Lenyn Sosa?
Sosa, I think a curse of the T-shirt. Everyone shows up with those Russian sickle shirts, I think, for Lenyn Sosa, and then all of a sudden he takes a gigantic shit, you know, and nobody like ever hears from him again. So he got cursed by the T-shirt. Basically, it's your fault, White Sox fans. I can definitely agree with you, Teresi, that, you know, hey, give him the reins, because he's one of those players that White Sox fans love. There's tons of potential, and everybody on the list for second base, we know a lot about. So the one guy we don't know enough about, we need to go, hey, let's put this guy in there because we just don't know. Well, we kind of know, but we don't know. So like, let's just make sure we know and double down on it. So that's like, yeah, give him the fucking keys to the car and say, hey, do what you got to do. It's yours to lose, and then when he fucks up, then we got to figure something out. Maybe we can pick something off the scrap heap and just hope to the Jesuses upstairs, hey, let's make this happen. But like, no, I think I can't disagree with what you said. I think that's a good plan.
One final thought on Lenine Sosa. So steamer projection, Treasy. I mentioned that Romy Gonzalez projected for 91 WRC plus. Lenine Sosa projected for a 100 WRC plus. Around a similar amount of plate appearances, and Sosa's projected for more WAR. So slightly better on offense and on defense, according to Steamer. Whatever you make of that. I mean, they've mostly played the minors, so it's tough to project.
So let's say for example that both Romy and Sosa are terrible in spring training.
Yep.
How do you guys feel about Lurie Garcia opening day starting second baseman? MSS, I'll start with you.
I am surprised you went to him first, or went to him before last. I thought he would have been the last person that you brought up. And I had a really good thing, written out for him. Not written out because I didn't make notes, but thought about. Listen, we're gonna need Lurie Garcia to pick up somebody's injured fucking cleats in the outfield, maybe potentially at shortstop. Who knows? He's gonna need to be somewhere else, not necessarily at second base. But if he is our number one option going into the season, look for the fire sale come All-Star break. That is what's going to happen. Because if we can't do any better than our fucking famous, we held a press conference on his fucking contract extension, utility infielder, longest tenured player for the Chicago White Sox.
Super utility, man. Come on.
Fucking A, man.
Put some respect on his name.
That's the best we can do in our goddamn contention window when we're trying to win something. Fucking put your head between your legs and pray. Okay? That's what they used to tell you in the 50s if the fucking Russians were going to drop some shit on us. Fuck. I don't know. We're screwed. We're screwed if that's our number one go-to breaking camp. We're like, yeah, and I can literally, and this is making me even a little bit more angry. I can hear Rick Hahn saying there just wasn't a better option than our guy Larry Garcia. I mean, he was the eternal guy that just wowed our socks in fucking goddamn spring training. He turned 2 double plays, and this is what we're gonna go with. Fuck! I can hear it. I can hear it already.
The cherry on top will be if he hits like 400 in spring training and like has like 5 home runs. That'll be the cherry. He's red hot, and it's like, all right, we got to play this guy.
5 home runs in like 22 plate appearances. Like that will happen.
Just smashing.
We're like, we didn't know the power was going to come from this guy, but here it is.
Beef, are you feeling Lurie Garcia second base? Come on,
man. You know what? I want to because everyone's like, oh, you're a Lurie legend guy. No, I mean Cliff Livingston is what he is. All right, he's a bench player, and if he got pressed into a role for a little bit, that's fine. I'm curious about a couple things. One, I'm wondering if Pedro Grafal, what he thinks of Lurie Garcia or this type of player or not. That's where I'm kind of like leaning at because Lurie still does some things well. He can grab a glove and be non-terrible at almost every position. He's still a terrific base runner, even though he got picked off a third in Colorado during that one game. And like he does make contact. Like, last year was like a ridiculously bad year. Miguel Cairo sat him kind of the whole end of the year, right? Yeah. And he claimed that he was injured, but I don't know if it's just Lurie's just done, like finished now. I'm unclear of all that shit. So I would rather not Lurie Legend be the starting second baseman. I'd rather he not be any starting position for any long-term period of time.
I'm with you. I do feel like Lurie was very hurt last year. I mean, there were definitely times where we watched him at the plate and we're like, that is not a healthy person. That is a person in fucking serious pain swinging the bat. And I just want I just want Grafal to come in and use Lurie appropriately. Like Tony La Russa had him out there. Tony La Russa was taking him like he was Sarah J and he was putting him in a first timers video. That's the usage that TLR had for Lurie this year. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Like he acted like Lurie was like a 22-year-old, like coming out of nowhere, possible second base answer. Exactly, up and comer. Like use him how he's supposed to be used. Like it's amazing. Hey. It's amazing how many. It's amazing how many fucking players there are on this roster where all we're asking of the White Sox is like, hey, you don't need to get rid of this guy. Nothing wrong with this guy. Could you just play him where he belongs? Could you just like do the thing where he plays his position?
I mean,
where he does his
Why you
job?
make me do this, Treasy? Why you make me stick up for Tony? Because you know this is Rick Hahn's fault putting all these mismatched pieces in here. Like, yeah, Tony did. Yeah, he put those idiots in the outfield. He had no choice. That's all he fucking had out there. Like, I agree with you, but like, what the fuck, you know?
I'm talking about Tony with the Lurie use specifically.
Okay, all right.
I'm talking about the White Sox organization overall with the like, we're just going to give you 14 first basemen. Good luck. Like, this is a problem. This is a huge problem.
As we talk more and more about Luis Garcia, I want to know, I want the story of who said we need to hold a presser for this motherfucker when they signed him for another contract. Like, I just need to know who said this. Was it Tony La Russa that said, listen, we should give him a presser? Like, who is it? We'll see how he gets treated, like, going into this, or like, what was it? You know, I mean, it's crazy. And also,
MSS, here's how
for saying that shit.
Here's how I assume the conversation went. We're like, oh, we re-signed Lurie. Awesome. Who's next? You know, you don't gotta break anything for me, but you know, like who's up next? And there was met with complete silence. Yes. And then they said, oh shit, we better do a press conference for Lurie.
It's the longest tenured player on the White Sox right now. Yeah, we better do that. Not try to re-sign Jose Abreu next year. No, fuck that. No, we're gonna stick with our Garcia. Yep. Okay.
Last note on Lurie, Steamer projects him for an 83 WRC plus, so worse than the other two guys by more than just a touch. So yeah, little ugly there.
So the last guy that we're going to talk about, and there are other guys. There's like guys like Jose Rodriguez that are probably not quite ready for the majors yet, so they're ways off. But like the last guy that we're going to talk about is Danny Mendick, and Danny Mendick's an interesting case because he tore an ACL and he's coming back from that surgery. If you look at MLB.com, it lists his return as TBD, which is not great. And RotoWire puts it as March 1st, 2023. That might just be a like, hey, that's when people are going to report. So we'll just put it at that time. And then we'll move it later because who the fuck is looking up when Danny Mendick's coming back other than guys that blog about the White Sox? So let's assume Danny Mendick is back by May. Let's just put I think that might be early, but let's put May as the date back. What are you doing with Danny Mendick when he gets back my Sox summer?
So any guy that will lend money to White Sox Dave or buy something for White Sox Dave without making White Sox Dave pay at least 50% up front is probably a good person, but I'm not sure on his injury status. I was just about to text White Sox Dave and say, how is Danny feeling? And just to see how he's doing. So if he is okay,
use the last name, he might think it's the guy that he works with. That's
true.
Which would be a really weird question to ask him too.
He'll say he's still a twink.
No, and here's the deal, and I think that he gets a raw deal because his bat isn't great. It isn't something that is really sexy. He's not a great, he's kind of like. He's like Romy, like it's maybe a little bit better bat-wise than Romy, but maybe not. And
well, he was very good last year until he got hurt.
Yeah, I mean, come on, in short spurts, okay, yeah, I'm good in short spurts, okay.
Wow, hello.
But anyway,
BWC, let's go.
We're gonna. I don't know. We've seen you in 5 minutes by yourself. Like how is that too long of a spurt?
Yeah, it kept me off about 4.5. Yeah, it kept me off about 4.5. But no, I just don't. I don't know. Again, like it's not. It's just not what you would expect for a contending team and in a contention window, and we're trying to win. It's not a guy, obviously, that. Yeah, no, he's a great backup potentially. He could come in. He could pinch run if he's healthy. Like he's got things associated with him that can make him appetizing as a backup. But he should not be your number one go-to. Like this is not the first guy you're calling when you're drunk at the bar and it's last call, right? He is not your first call go-to. There's like two other people before you get to this guy, and then you're like, hey, okay, all right, Danny, all right, you know. But yeah, no, I don't know. It's just rough.
Beef, where are you at with Danny Mendick?
I'm gonna text Dave.
I have a quick question for you guys about Danny Mendick before I get into my thoughts on him. Is Danny Mendick the new Adam Engel, where he's like the overloved bench guy? I feel like when you talk to certain people, it's like, man, that Danny Mendick, he's a gamer. They use like he plays the game the right way. He's a gamer. They use all that shit, right? And I think I know the reason why they use all that. He had a nice year and he didn't play a lot. He had 106 plate appearances last year, but he hit the shit out of the ball. 125 WRC plus, hit 289, hit 3 tanks. I went to his Baseball Savant page. You're going to love this, Treasy. He is 29th percentile in max exit velocity, which means he doesn't hit the ball particularly hard, as MSS was saying a moment ago. MSS is on the phone right now, by the way. Let's not interrupt him. And he's also 21st percentile in sprint speed. So those times when you see him out there and you're like, he doesn't look as fast as he should. Yeah, he's kind of slow, actually. And then Treasy favorite, because once in a while they'll put him at shortstop and we're like, can he even make the throw across? He has 8th percentile in arm strength.
Yeah.
Danny Mendick. So, Danny Mendick has no tools, and so maybe he plays the game the right way, but I agree with MSS. That's like the last guy on your roster or the guy that sits at AAA and comes up in a pinch. Like, that's not a guy. I would be very low on him starting.
Right, and so here's the problem. So, I agree that he's probably a little bit overloved. I don't think people are at the same level as Adam Engel, because Adam Engel was always just like, we got to get him in there. Danny Mendick, I don't think people are that big on that. I mean, when it was him or Lurie, people were like that, but otherwise not so much. But I think the problem is we've all seen the holes in his game. We did see him play well last year, but at the same time, you got to think this guy's knee was just shredded. Assuming that he's going to play this year, he's coming back off of a horrible injury. If he was a really good player, I'd be nervous about it. But he's a quadruple A guy. So I'm extremely nervous about what he could actually do when he comes back. And in a position where he's going to have to go all over the place to play second base now, because there's no shift anymore. He's got to be really quick laterally. So it's just concerning. It's all of the knee issue is just overly concerning for this, where you're kind of
So Trees, you're worried that knee injury is going to derail his 21st percentile sprint speed. It may disrupt it.
I'm saying it's going to be worse. What was tolerable before is going to be a worse version of that when he comes back, and that could be really, really detrimental to the team and his career. This could be
could be it.
I don't want to say this because he seems like a genuinely good person, but that kind of knee injury to that type of player, that could be it. That could be your career. That could be a career-ending injury that he sustained last year, which sucks because it was a freak injury too, and you hate to see something like that.
Yeah.
But really, who is this guy post injury, and is that somebody that you want even on your 40 man? It's a tough question to answer for a guy that I think most people genuinely like. They're he's a low round pick. He built himself up from that and made the team. He's played a lot. Yep. We watched him a lot during the rebuild. And he's one of those guys that has made it through the rebuild and into this. And you're at the point now where he's going to come back from this injury. And it's we just listed off 3 other guys that play his position.
Yeah.
And if they add somebody, it's worse. And there's guys coming up behind him. That's a tough position to be in.
Now, so I got some things from Dave, but also Dan Pierce in the comments says Danny Mendick's favorite manager was Jerry Manuel, and I think he's joking, but
yes,
his actual favorite manager, according to White Sox Dave, was oh fuck, now I just dropped it.
Great job.
Go ahead. You know who he is.
I have
Willie Harris.
no idea.
He loves Willie Harris. he also liked Willie Harris,
Like,
and I confirmed.
No, we don't.
God damn it! No, Willie Harris. He liked Willie Harris. He thought Willie Harris was going to be the next one. Now, Dave has not talked to Danny Mendick recently, so he doesn't know how he's feeling. But he also says they better not do something stupid and non-tender him to save like $200K. So I think Dave wants him on the team next year. So yeah.
I'm not reading that whole comment.
No,
Beef.
I'm
You
just
could
putting
read
it up there
if you
for
want.
everyone. No, I'm
Okay.
putting it up for everyone who's watching the show.
All right.
See it.
Let's move on to the next thing, which is AJ Pollock. AJ Pollock opts out. He gets $5 million. He leaves $8 million on the table.
We're not ranking the other guy.
We could. Yeah, sorry.
Let's rank him.
I wanted to end that so badly that I forgot.
Sorry.
I didn't know we were going to get into just reading gibberish off your text messages. So, like, I wasn't sure. So,
You son of a bitch.
Well, he forgot what he was gonna. He's like, that guy that with the
Willie
thing, the guy in
Harris,
the
I
place.
got it. I fucking got it. Jesus.
all right, my suck summer. Give me your 1 through 4 on
All
those
right,
guys.
so
Like,
hey,
who-
if we're gonna do this, all right, we're gonna go 1 through 4. We're gonna go Sosa. We're gonna go. What sustains me? Larry Garcia,
Yes.
Romy Gonzalez, and Mendick. Yeah, that will be my 1 through 4.
Beef. How about you?
Sosa, Romy, Legend, Mendick, but I think MSS is fine as well. Treasy.
Yeah, I have the same list as you, Beef. So that's where I was at. I think Sosa is just the best one to put at number 1 and hope that, like, if Sosa comes out and plays second base, something clicked. We saw something go right in spring training, and we're ready for his Jacob May era.
I was gonna say, if he Jacob Mays himself, it's all of our faults. I want everyone to take
It is
that
our
right here. What's
But
all our
hey,
faults?
the White Sox cannot be fucking looked down upon because they gave Jacob May a lot of chances to make it.
They
right.
did give.
He
They
just
gave.
did not.
Man, they gave that guy every opportunity to get a hit.
He was here for
Every
3
opportunity.
months and he had 0 hits, and then he finally got a hit. And my God, everyone in the audience, all 6,000 of us, screamed so loud.
We're
for him
relieved.
when
We're
he got
relieved
that
for
hit.
that poor prick.
He got the one hit, and then they
bad.
swept him off the stage like he was at the Apollo.
Carlos came out, picked him up on his shoulder, and walked him into the dugout. And we never heard from him again.
Exactly.
I assumed he was killed.
That was it.
All right, AJ Pollock leaves $8 million
AJ.
on the table. Should have been $5 million, but they they let him hit as much as possible.
Yep.
Why would you leave $8 million on the table if you're AJ Pollock? My Sock Summer, give me your idea of why this happened.
So here's my initial thought. My initial thought was, okay, he's got $5 million. He's like, can I go somewhere and make enough to go $1 million over what I could have made? Potentially, yes. I mean, the way the market is right now, it's fucking crazy. People are getting overpaid left and right, and this is what I heard from my friend Jerry Reinsdorf. Everyone's getting paid too much in this MLB nowadays, and AJ Pollock is like, I can do that now. Joey P might have a point. That was the second point. I've also been seeing he heard that he was not going to be playing a lot next year. I don't know how this is possible because he could have played left field all season as far as I'm concerned, especially if we picked up that, or he stayed and he took the money. But if he hated Chicago that much and didn't want to be here, all right, good riddance. See you later. But I think originally the thing is I could probably play this to my advantage and get $2 more million for the year than I could have got if I just stayed in Chicago.
Beef, where are you at with this one?
Man, I was totally shocked because I did a blog about how I think it would be shocking if he was able to get more than the $8 million, and the excess piece that he's leaving on the table. Because I ran a query of similar guys and what happened to them in their careers, similar pathways, similar skill sets, and most of these guys didn't get shit, including the best guy. Who did the absolute best was in 2019. Hunter Pence had a bounce back year, and he was a similar age. He got $3.5 million. And so now Pollock is going out there trying to get at least 8, right? That's what he would need to recover this,
Just
and maybe
to get
9. Just to get even, he would need 8 and maybe 9. I've heard it all out there. Oh man, he must have fucking hated being on the White Sox, and maybe he did. Maybe he hated guys in the clubhouse. Maybe he just hated how the organization was run. He thought it was a cheap, chintzy organization. Remember, he's coming from the Dodgers previously, so maybe he's got an expectation of how things are going to be, and he's like, it fucking sucks here. I don't want to be here, you know. And my guy Josh Nelson, who bodied the shit out of me because he has been floating this as a possibility that the guy would jump out. He threw like the millennial like. He's gonna maximize his expected utility instead of maximizing his his bankroll, his net worth situation. And I feel like there's more at play here because it's too big of a delta. Like a smaller delta there, I think maybe, or if he had made way more money in his career, maybe. But it just feels like these guys are competitive about wanting to be paid better than the next guy and wanting to make as much money as possible. So it seems far fetched.
Can I tell you my conspiracy theory, Beef?
Let's hear it.
I think the Dodgers have liked Pollock for a while. I think they like what he brings to the clubhouse. So like they like having him around. They got in the agents here and said 1 in 10 if he gets out of that contract. And I think that the Dodgers have more money than God, so a $10 million contract is nothing to them. It doesn't, even it's not a blip on the radar. And they're going to say, okay, we've had trouble keeping guys even healthy out there. We'll do this, and we'll have AJ Pollock back, and he'll be a 4th outfielder, 5th outfielder type of guy for the team.
You think they're giving up on the younger version of AJ Pollock called Trace Thompson, who they were playing in the playoffs a little bit there? He was a left fielder quite a bit down the stretch as their kind of right-handed option in the outfield there. And I don't know. He's only 32. Pollock will be 35, I think, next season. 35. He'll play the next season at 35 years old.
And maybe Trace Thompson fucked his way right through that dugout, and they don't like him no more. I mean, when we were at the games, Beef, ladies were coming down and like it was a Poison concert.
That's what I was gonna say. Like the titty quotient is gonna go way down if fucking he is not there anymore. If Trace Thompson is not there anymore, no more titties. AJ Pollock brought 0 titties as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I didn't see any.
So I don't know.
That is the Trace Thompson thing is still one of the wildest things that I've ever seen at a baseball stadium, and like an absolutely empty baseball stadium. Right. That's what we need. We like. Rebuild number 2. Make sure everyone in the comments, make sure you're coming out to these Wednesday games because it gets wild. It gets wild with those games. But so AJ Pollock's out, and who cares why he's out at this point, right? He's gone. He's out of our lives. Yep. Fuck him. I don't care. If he doesn't like Chicago, just like every other motherfucker that doesn't like Chicago, get the fuck out. We don't care.
Yep.
What are we going to do with this $8 million? Now, I know what I would do with $8 million, a ton of cocaine. But, like, what are the White Sox going to do?
We would do a ton of cocaine. We would do a ton of cocaine.
What, I'm cut out because my nose too big?
Your nose is too big. That's like 7 million of it right there.
It's like a dust buster over there. I don't want to fucking compete with the dust buster. Like, no.
MSS like, hey, we got an 8-ball. Beef's here. We got a 1-ball.
We got a 1-ball.
All right.
Fuck you guys.
And you don't need that shit. He'll die.
No. I'm already up. I don't need any additions.
Gonzo.
You guys tired?
All right,
pussies.
Let's actually get back to the
take it easy, William.
The conversation at hand, which is there is $8 million in savings here. What are we going to do with $8 million that is afforded to us from AJ Pollock so graciously leaving, kind of like Adam LaRoche did? Beef, what are you doing with that $8 million?
I want to hear what he's going to say.
I mean, I've said it before. I'm firing Gene Honda. I'm going to fire Sox Nerd. I'm going to hire Cascade, and I'm going to hire Luther Campbell. Uncle Luke is going to be the master of ceremonies at the ballpark. MSS, go fuck yourself. My idea is coming to fruition. I'm not giving this $8 million to Rick Hahn. He's going to blow it on some stupid reliever that doesn't know what he's doing. No, we're spending it on something that's valuable to me and my experience in the ballpark.
Hold on. You fucked up.
What did he fuck up?
You're bringing in Luther Campbell?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And Romy Gonzalez is not your number 1 at second base.
That's true.
I'm sorry.
He's got to earn it. Uncle Luke has learned it. Uncle Luke ain't coming. Uncle Luke could not pick Romy Gonzalez out of a lineup. He don't know who the fuck he is.
But once we tell him he's from Miami,
he's from the U.
Once he's from the U,
it's on my bad side.
You know who's coming back Mike. Then too?
Thanks,
We're
man.
getting Zach
Appreciate
Collins back too. Zach Collins will be our third catching option.
He was released, by the way, today. Yeah,
He'll
the
be
Pirates
back.
released him, so he's.
And I'll be wearing my Florida White Sox shirt. I'll send one to Uncle Luke. You know.
So beef, it's all off field for you. You don't trust Han with the money.
No,
You
I don't want.
trust
Neither is Jerry. Jerry's like, we ain't giving you that. We ain't giving you as much money as we gave you last year. You look what you did last year. You didn't do nothing good. We're giving you less. I hear us all in the streets like, you got to spend over these. You got to spend over these mistakes, and I agree with that in principle. But all these GMs fashion themselves as fucking investment managers, and guess what? I've worked with some investment managers, and when they fuck up that badly, they don't give them more money. They tell them to get the fuck out of here. So like, let's slow down with let's give him a lot more money to spend. How about you spend what you got wisely, motherfucker? And we're going to spend the rest of this on Cascade and Uncle Luke. Uncle Luke ain't going to cost that much.
Like
Uncle Luke, if we give Uncle Luke a $500,000, he's here for the whole season. Cascade's going to be a little tougher, you know? Cascade maybe only select dates, especially if that was true about the Tito's. He's owed, what was it, MS? That's $100,000 or $200,000?
A lot,
yeah. $500,000? Whatever the
lot.
fuck for a show. It's a lot of money. So we're going to have to spread out our Cascades, but we're saving a little money by firing Gene Honda and Sox Nerd. Sox Nerd got to make, I don't know, $20-$30 an hour maximum. And then Gene Honda's got to make a few grand as well. We'll get that. We'll put it in the coffers, and we got
plowing down motherfuckers in the
I
street.
mean, my God.
Jesus Christ!
He's driving from Kenosha. He better make more than like.
I love
20,
Sox.
30
I'm
bucks
just
an hour.
busting chops.
This is how you end up with pictures of you on the internet with your hairline back to the middle of your head.
That's
Yeah,
why you look like Carl.
People think it's real.
Picture up of Carl again. You know. Yep. I mean,
It's not very nice. You guys aren't being very nice to me.
Is this beef or is this Carl? I don't know. I'm not sure. Oh,
I've got original ideas
looks
here.
the same to me. Looks the same to me.
All right, MSS. What are you doing with that $8 million?
So hey, much like Loaf, I also was thinking there's ways that we could do something with this money that is not like going to be on the field, because I too think it might get wasted. Like the immediate thought for me was like, the Sox are going to buy another fucking reliever. Like that would be like, we're going to spend $8 million on some fucking arm that we don't need, because you can't get a good starting pitcher for $8 million, right? Like it's just probably not going to happen. And as we showed in the last thing, you know, we have 4 fucking in-house suspects to play second base. So like, why would we spend $8 million there? Where else do we need the help? I mean, an outfielder potentially. Okay, I don't know, maybe, but we're not going to get what we need out of that outfielder, which is a bat for $8 million. I don't think, or the bat that we need for that. So I thought we could take the $8 million and put it directly into the scouting program. Let's go out there and find these motherfuckers. Let's do the things that we say we need to do, or we're relying on our guys to do, but actually give them the money to do it. Like there's a way to say like, hey, or you know what? Give it $4 million to scouting, $4 million to conditioning. Let's give $4 million to guys to keep these guys healthy. If we want to keep these guys healthy, let's pay for them to be healthy. Let's supervise their offseason plans. Let's say, hey, listen, we would like you to come back early to Chicago. Let's run some drills, you know, whatever. Before you go to spring training, let's get you into something. Hey, you know what? This is Nancy. Nancy's going to make your menu for the week. She's going to show you what to eat and the good things you should eat. Not Domino's pizza, not fucking goddamn Twinkies. Okay? We're like, let's invest in the assets that we actually have, instead of pretending that these guys are doing it themselves, because they're not. They're getting hurt left and right. They're doing stupid shit and getting hurt. Like, let's be smart about it. So let's either put it in the scouting or let's put it in the conditioning and make sure that these guys stay healthy and stick to basically the plan is that everyone stay healthy, but let's ensure it that they're going to stay healthy.
I'm fucking so upset right now. I'm so upset.
Why?
The Domino slander or the fucking Twinkies?
I cannot believe that your answer is the same as mine for this. And it's not exactly the same. It's not exactly the same, but like I definitely wanted to put it into some kind of infrastructure with the team. And I was thinking more along the lines of like, why don't you build an actual analytics department? Why don't you spend some money? And I was with you on the international scouting. Like, take $8 million and become a presence somewhere.
Yes.
Fuck it. Go, be the first team to go back into Venezuela, and just 7 million of that is just for ransom for when you guys all get kidnapped. Like,
that's a good call.
Like, I think, like, I'm with you, MSS. Like, I think, like, you can't get much in terms of a major league player at $8 million. But if you want to keep preaching to me about how Chris Getz deserves to get promoted and how you're going to get internal options to fix things, like, you need to invest in all of that. Like, you need to put your money where your mouth is, and it's much cheaper. It's much cheaper than going out and get, like, think about it this way, like, what fifth starter could you get with that $8 million? None.
Not really.
What outfielder are you going to get with that $8 million? You get Kevin Kiermaier?
David Peralta.
Put him in center and move over Luis Robert? Like, are you going to, like, other things you could do? Like, I was thinking of things you could do with this money. You could trade Joe Kelly and send $8 million with him. Like, these are the types of things that you could do with $8 million. $8 million is fucking nothing in today's major league market.
Not on the field. Absolutely.
Right. In the free agent market, in the player market, it's nothing. Off the field, it is something. It is, you can do a lot with that $8 million. And, like, it would be lovely to see them invest in something like that. But what's probably going to happen? They're going to do nothing with it, and they're going to trade away some international cap money. That's just to double down on it.
Ding.
I see a couple guys in the comments, mostly Joey P, and then who was the next guy that said it? They're saying our guy Taco Gladiator saying that they need to invest $8 million to get people in the park. Listen.
Shouldn't cost that much.
I can fix that for like literally $100,000. You just open all the fucking gates you have to get people in. Let's just make it big, and then let's utilize the people that we're paying already to do these things.
Gates.
These are things you could hire me for like very little. I would love just to like throw the idea out there and watch it like formulate the first 2 weekend home series. And then I can just walk away and not have to work again for the rest of the week. I'm going to work 2 weeks out of the 52 a year, and then I'm good. You know, I think I could do it.
You know, fuck it. Just give us $8 million. We'll build a big catapult, and we'll just shoot you guys into the stadium. You won't even have to go through security.
We'll put a little parachute on you so that you land semi-softly. You know,
it's kind of soft landing, like the Flying Elvis. You know,
I did like MSS's first initial path where he started talking about dietitian. All I could get in my brain was MSS thinks he's going to make these guys bag lunches and they'll be indestructible. They put down that slice of pizza. I'm going to make you a ham sandwich. You'll never get hurt in your entire fucking life. That's the vision I got in my head.
What if the dietitian is from Falco?
I'll be like, hey.
Costs more than $8 million, probably.
Are you eating vegetables? Yes. Okay. Well, I'm gonna give you some hummus to put vegetables on top of that vegetables, and then you're gonna be better. You're gonna be so much better. Like, I'm
gonna give you this diet supplement. You just put that under your tongue. Now, when they come to test you, I want you to rub this on your body before you go and get that test.
That's all black bean, my friend. That's how you flush it right out.
If they ask you any questions. If they ask you any questions about this, I want you to go Gary Sheffield and just let them know that you never stuck anything in your butt.
No,
it's like someone wants to feed the players like he feeds himself and his kids, and that's how premium athletes do eat.
Steph the Giant just showed up and
Dino Nuggets from Tyson.
Yes. Dude, the Canadian geese are the worst.
Bro, fuck those geese. I agree with you, MSS.
Every time they're the worst. See them, I tell Loaf, I'm like, listen. These guys shit everywhere. There's goose poop everywhere, and I literally only bought fireworks to throw at Canadian geese to get them the fuck away from me at any point. And I need to do that in Chicago, but I also don't want to get arrested.
Dale says $50K for Bad Boy Bill. Does that change your mind, Treasy?
Is Bad Boy Bill alive? Is Bad Boy Bill alive?
He says $50K. Well, I mean, we'll start with the $50K. Let's see if he
find out.
How much is for DJ Markski? Because I'm still convinced that Cascade is DJ Markski. All right, MSS. Why don't you talk about some ornaments,
folks? We as you saw at the beginning of the show. Okay, I'm totally unprepared for this. Here we have the 108. There you go, 108 ornament. But what you can do and Teresi put it on me. You can bundle it. Bundles. Everyone loves bundles, okay? It's not just, hey, well, let's get the ornament and it'll go on. No, fuck you. You got to get a Merry 108 Miss Sweatshirt. Get this shit out of my basement, okay? It costs you very little money. Over top of just the regular ornament, you can get the Merry 108 Miss Ugly sweater that you can wear to work. You can wear to a party. You can wear to get drunk at the fucking local bar on a Friday night. It does not matter, okay? This doesn't change color. That changed colors. This does not change colors. This stays red all year, just like my cheeks right now because of all the shitty bourbon I've been drinking. Now, I have sizes small all the way to like 5XL. So if you're a big person, little person, or a medium person, I probably got something that can fit you. So get over to our website, 108 or FromThe108.com. Click on the merch link on the right-hand side. Go right there. Buy them all. If you buy, I'm just going to say, you buy the ornament, you buy the sweatshirt, I am going to send you a Miller Lite vendor bobblehead for free. I mean, I can't even imagine I'm saying this, but you know what? You're going to get it for free. Right.
I hope you remember it.
Your door. Yeah, I will. Oh, well, I don't like that one, but hey, yeah. So come on through. You buy the sweatshirt ornament combo for, I think it's $49.99 shipped. $49.99
It is $49.99 shipped.
I will put the fucking goddamn Miller Lite vendor bobblehead, my guy Russ Nelson, his bobblehead, right in that box and send it right to you. Right.
Oh, that's beautiful, man. I want people to get that sweater because that is an awesome sweater. I love wearing it. I love wearing it all through Christmas because it's, like a lot of people got the ugly sweaters out.
They do.
None of them are that dope. I mean, my Motorhead one is pretty dope, but none are as dope.
Don't bring up the competition while you're selling ours. Come on,
bro. That Motorhead one's like $150. This is a deal. Got a deal. We got a third of the price, and you get an ornament.
And an ornament, plus a Miller Lite vendor bobblehead. I mean, my God, what more do you need?
You know what you need? You know what everyone needs right now? Last call.
Yeah. Yes.
Bring it back.
Yes,
Bring
baby.
it back.
Yes.
Last call is back. We're doing last call tonight.
Yeah.
Frick yeah.
And so if you're not familiar with last call, so what last call is, it's a very old bit we used to do back in the day when we would do 3-hour shows, and it would be in about an hour, 2.5. And what it is we just go around and each of us has a topic. None of them have to be baseball related. They don't have to be anything related. It could just be whatever you're thinking about that day. And so I'll start it off, just give you guys an idea of what we're talking about. So this past week it's been election week, right? And so on Tuesday night, a lot of people were glued to the TV watching whatever they have for the election. I watched Head of State. Which is I remember it's Chris Rock running for president as an alderman. It's a very enjoyable movie. Nate Dogg's in it, so you know it's good. And so my question to you guys is, what is your favorite movie about politics? And My Suck Summer, I'll start with you, buddy.
Oh, God damn it. I'm trying to think. Even like,
well, you know what? Think about it. I don't go with Beef. I bet Beef has one right up.
I know what Los is immediately.
Far and away. So there's a few that I like. There's a few that I really enjoy. But far and away, my favorite is The Distinguished Gentleman. Eddie Murphy, Sherilyn Ralph. I'm trying to think of some of the other actors in it. Charles S. Dutton. Charles S. Dutton. Great cast. Terrific. And it's Eddie Murphy's a con man. And he cons himself into a spot in Congress, and he finds out all these things he can do to make money, and kind of like, so he was a con man. Now he figured out what the real con was. He ends up getting a conscience during it, and he ends up gutting one of the other guys, like getting him in trouble and kind of getting his way with stuff. But it's a very hilarious take on politics, and of course anything with Eddie Murphy. Like I was thinking about today, I was listening to a Jay-Z album, and like, Jay-Z in his album references Eddie Murphy all the time. Eddie Murphy is so buried in our pop culture at this point, especially for people our age. He's everywhere. So, yeah, The Distinguished Gentleman, a terrific movie.
Beef, I mentioned that today on the internet because there was a guy I forget what fucking state it was. He won an election, like a state representative election.
Yeah.
He's dead. He was still on the ballot because he had died like a month before, but he's still on the ballot. He won. And like that is straight out of that movie. Like that is a line in the movie. Like, oh, he died. He was still on the ballot. He won. Unreal that shit actually happened. And Eddie Murphy made a movie about it, 20 years ago or whatever it was. MSS, what's on yours?
So I have something in mind, and it was the first thing that kind of popped in my mind, but now I'm kind of going to double down on it. Now, one that came through from our guy Southside Bum, Johnny, Black Sheep, great movie. Funny. So funny. And that would have been if I could have thought of that myself, I definitely would have taken that. But I'm going to go with Matthew Broderick's best film ever, Election, with Reese Witherspoon, because she ruins that motherfucker's life. And I think it's dark enough of a comedy that I'm okay with this. Like, I liked it. I think I watched it twice. So that's a big thing for me. If I did that, because they showed you all the gritty inside stuff. And with the high school elections and everything, and Reese Witherspoon in that movie, oh God,
horrible!
Hello. No, horrible person.
I thought you were going down a path right there. You got a little,
She's one of those students you don't want as a teacher. You're just like, God, why do you got to call me out on my fucking my mistakes, my shortcomings? Like, and he did not want her to win, and then he tried to fuck it up, and then she said, you know what, fuck you, I'm gonna fuck your shit up, and she did. And it was a great movie. Great movie.
Then she ruined Johnny Cash's marriage. It was crazy.
Yeah, then she did. Yeah.
So true.
What a hooah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we're going to count this as a politics movie, but it's definitely about the president and a vice president.
It's politics.
Idiocracy.
Yes.
That seems totally unfair.
That's perfect.
I mean, like you rarely get in the Oval Office in a movie. Very much in the Oval Office for quite a bit of this movie. They go to the White House. Frito Pendejo gets into the White House. I mean, he's vice president, not sure.
Yeah,
I mean, like the whole thing is political. It's a political thriller, if I have to say. But I love Idiocracy. But I think a movie that is truly about politics and about kind of the same thing that we see play out now is The Campaign.
Yes, I love The Campaign.
The Campaign is fucking ridiculous, and it is becoming real life. Like, I mean, like we're almost at the point now where we look at The Campaign and go, like, I wish politics was this clean and this good.
That's exactly right. You wish it was less insane. It was more like that movie.
Remember when we hated George Bush? We were like, man, you know what? It wasn't really that bad, really. Kind of.
All right, Beef, your last call. What do you got?
All right, so I have something here. I thought about this a little bit. I was like, oh man, let's play a little let's play a character game. So my last call is, which Ocean's 11 character are you? And we tag team this. We go 2-on-1 and let the commenters also kick in here. And then I found out right before the show, my sex summer has never seen Ocean's 11, which shocked the shit out of me. No, so we thought
it seems impossible.
It does seem impossible because it's on all the time. Like it's everywhere. It's on all the time.
Which one do they have the acrobat that goes in to steal?
That's Ocean's 11.
Okay,
yeah.
So
I mean, he comes back in 13 and I think he's in 12 too.
He's in 12
so
also, yeah.
I don't know if I saw. I might have seen.
Okay, we're just gonna count you as you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I don't think
Treasy
so.
and I and the commenters will do who we think you are out of the characters. Okay. You won't know who they are, but we'll do who you think is.
That's fine.
And Treasy, who comes to mind first for you for My Sex Summer as the Ocean's 11 character?
Probably Basher, because I don't ever know what the fuck he's saying.
It's not nice.
And he'll say something and he'll have to go. I'll go, what? And then he'll say something else, and then he'll finally get me there. But he'll be mad that I didn't know what he meant initially. So Basher feels good to me.
I was kind of thinking a different direction.
Don
I was
Cheadle.
thinking
I'll be Don Cheadle. I'm cool.
No, you're not him. I was thinking a different direction. I was thinking Frank Kenton, because he's kind of the people person, schmoozer guy. You know, and that's kind of what MSS is, right? He's kind of like he's a real people person. He's low key getting that information off you. You don't even realize all the shit you're telling old MSS. And next thing you know, he's got everything. He's got a book on your ass. So I think
I would
he's
love
like
to
the
see
Frank
him.
Canton character.
I would love to see him smash the hand of a car salesman like that. I assume that's how MSS buys cars.
I'd love to see MSS dealing blackjack. That would be hilarious. I don't know if he has.
I don't think he knows the rules of blackjack.
I don't think so either.
The fucker. I know blackjack. I don't know poker, but I know blackjack.
Could you deal blackjack?
Could I deal it? Yes, yeah. Because I gotta hit on certain like numbers, right? Like I like because
you're the dealer. You tell me.
But there's different things on tables, right? Or is that just a universal rule?
There is different things on tables.
Yeah, there's different things on different tables. So like I could hit like you have to hit like a soft 11 or whatever, or you have to hit a soft 18 or whatever the fuck it was. Yeah. No, I know there's rules. I could get that. I played blackjack, motherfucker. I've done that.
I see some positive stuff in the comments for you. And Aloha Master Hand says that we're the Malloy brothers. I could see that.
I mean, yeah, that's probably the
Lil Yumper says I'm Ruben because you can see me sitting around eating breakfast with my robe open. I don't even need a robe. I'll just be sitting there shirtless. And they also said that I was Saul, like Saul Bloom. Now Saul does the biggest acting part of the whole thing. Like he has to put on the biggest
he's
show.
Extremely impressive.
Yeah, I'm nowhere near as impressive as that man. No,
that was my other one for MSS though. I thought maybe Saul Bloom would be it.
You thought so? Yeah. No, I was kind of I don't know. I got I could kind of see Basher a little bit because he's not very technical. That's the problem. Those guys are real technical what they do.
It was a one-line joke. It wasn't meant to go past the fact that I couldn't understand what he was saying.
And Southside Bum ass, who's Rusty? If I was picking, I would say Treasy are Rusty. He's the guy who takes care of everything. He gets shit done.
I don't eat quite enough to be Rusty, but
no, you don't have the 70s gear to be Rusty. But
I have enough 70s gear. I think I have enough 70s.
I don't think you wear enough then.
I don't
see you with the butterfly collars and shit. I don't wear.
You know, maybe I need to. Let's hang out this weekend. I'll wear some shit.
Wear some shit for me. Okay, that sounds good.
Man, Beef, remember back in the day when I had that one shirt that was like all fucking weird, crazy design, like looked like you were doing acid looking at me.
Yeah.
I could bring those back. I'll bring those back.
No,
all right.
I don't fit in those.
Oh, I don't fit in those. That's why it'd be more fun. I still have them. All right, please drink more from Zach.
269,
Thank
baby.
you, Sockswood.
Yeah.
MSS.
So hey, I mean, I saw this coming back, and I was like, you know what? I got to go with my gut, and my gut nowadays is always hungry. So my last call to you guys is, why does food taste so good after a long night of drinking?
Why does food taste so good after? I mean, everything is good after a long night of drinking. Like, I mean, I feel like there's something about like when you're drunk, your body's, I think what is it, your blood sugar's like so low that like you just become hungry. And then like the other thing is like, you know that all the options at that point are like the nastiest but most delicious things on the planet. Yeah. Right? Like White Castle's is open. Yeah, you got the late night taco places. You got Maxwell Street Depot is open. Like all of those, and if it's early enough, you've got like places like Rickabenny's still like they're still open, right? Like you did a day drinking session and it's like almost midnight. Oh shit, I could go get a beef sandwich right now.
Yep.
You know?
Okay.
Like there's like a bit of like your inhibitions are gone, right? Like you're not thinking about like how many calories is this? You're not thinking about that. You're thinking the only way I can live through this night is to eat this food. I need this Polish with onions, or else I'm going to die. Like that is the thought in your mind. And so yeah, I think there's many factors that go into the deliciousness of it.
I agree with that last thought. It's almost primal, right? Because the alcohol is making your brain happy, right? It's doing happy stuff up here.
Yeah.
But your body knows that it's causing it trauma. It's causing it damage, right? It's being damaged by what you're putting in there. And so it needs to feed. It feels like it needs to feed. It feels like it needs something to protect itself, to re-nourish itself, because it's taking on something that it really shouldn't. but it makes the brain too happy. So that's why you kind of keep going with it. And so I think that's where you meet the happy medium of, I got to go to Maxwell Street Depot right now. This is going to be perfect for me.
I wish I had the Jim Irsay picture right now to post. Sometimes you got to let the monster out of the cage to feed. Like that would have been perfect for that moment.
I mean, yes, I don't disagree, but like I feel like the taste of anything you eat when you are hammered is like amplified by about 1,000. You're just like, God damn, this is a delicious Ritz cracker. I don't even give a shit that it's not Ritz cracker. Like it could be a generic one from Aldi, but you're like, God damn it, this is delicious. So is this pepper jack cheese that I also bought at Aldi. Put that right on there with a little bit of meat. Delicious. So really good stuff. I appreciate your guys's your guys's talks. Thank you.
Now, Beef, did you have another one? Because I know that you had a backup because MSS doesn't watch television, much like Vincent Vega.
And we're only at an hour 40, so
we got time to kill. All right, we go. I got a second one. It's a similar vein, and it was more of, what if the 108ers were in the mafia, and what would our position be basically in an organization, and like model us after either a real or fictional mafia member. So I was kind of more thinking movies, TV. Like what character kind of would we be in those?
See, I think MSS would move way up. I think MSS would move way up in an organization like that because two reasons. One, the guy knows how to make money, right? Like he would figure out all the different angles. He would do the shit. But then the second thing is, like, you hear a lot of these stories where like the guy does his first hit and they go to give him money and he's like, yo, no money for that. Like, I don't want the money. And that's usually the separator between a guy who just becomes a paid hitman and a guy who moves up in the org, because it's like, yo, I did this for the family. I didn't do this for the money. And MSS would be like that. I feel that vibe from him. So like, I think MSS, you'd go really far in the mafia if you ever wanted to be. And hey, like, can you trace your roots back to Sicily? Because I don't know, maybe you get made.
and it's a talking point when we're with my mom's side of the family. When my grandfather at one point said, we know some people, and me and my cousin looked at each other and go, listen, if you know some people, you don't talk about knowing people. So we definitely don't know anybody. Like, and then my mom also, though, has said, hey, she had a cousin that used to go deliver stuff to Al Capone's, house in Rockford, because he had a hideaway in Rockford. And I was like, are you fucking serious? And she goes, yeah, I'm pretty serious. And I was like, all right, well, maybe we did know some people. So I don't know, but like, yeah, no, I don't know. I don't think I could trace him back much further than that. Sounds like an urban legend to any town that's really close associated with Rockford. They're like, yeah, so-and-so used to take toilet paper up to fucking Al Capone. Like, it doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem legit, but my mom's not a big liar unless it's, about other things. But yeah.
All right, MSS, who would Beef be? Where would Beef end up?
Where would we put him? Like, I listen, he is, and I can't think of the guy's name, but because there's the guy. There is a guy in all the Godfather movies that he would be, but he's 100% the accountant. He's the guy that's in the back. He's the back area. He's counting the money. He's yelling at people when they don't earn enough, and they're bringing the money in. He's the money guy. He is not out on the forefront. No, you don't put this mug guy out there in front of the people. Like, I don't think he's in the back. He's in the back area. He's too smart. You don't waste the brain, right?
No, you don't.
Waste the brain.
You don't. No. But he's not that guy. He's not the fucking bookkeeper, man.
No, he is. No, he's not. No, listen. He's
Hyman Roth.
No.
He's Hyman Roth.
Who's Hyman Roth? Which one is he?
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate the drink, brother.
Cheers, Josh.
A-holes? What the fuck?
So Hyman Roth is based off of, and man, I'm blanking on it. So who's the guy with he was the Bugsy Siegel's
Meyer Lansky?
Meyer Lansky. He's based off Meyer Lansky. And Meyer Lansky is a guy who was just a really smart guy, brought together different groups. He was not a violent guy. He's a non-violent guy, though he deployed violence. He was not himself. Like, he's a small guy. He wasn't like tough or anything. Not to say that Beef can't fuck someone up. I've seen Beef fight. He does all right for himself. But But I'm just saying, like, he's not the enforcer. He's the brains behind the organization, and he puts a lot of things together, like gambling schemes and things like that. It's Lansky and Siegel who basically invent Las Vegas,
right?
Like, so that seems like a Beefloaf guy to me. Like Lansky and Beefloaf seem on the same path. My Sock Summer's out. He says, "Fuck."
I'm here.
Fuck you guys.
No. I had to turn. I got to plug in my fucking phone.
He's got to come back. He had to pick his nose. That's
he's gonna be completely nude when he comes back on.
I'm back. I had to plug in my computer.
Sure.
And I have only.
Sure.
But no, he got it to protect him. You know what I mean? Like he's a fucking treat. Right, he's got all the best ideas that we've ever had in the 108. I'm sure that would translate in the mafia.
Allegedly,
and you got to make sure that he doesn't get out there and get fucked up by something. Because and that's no slight against you, Loaf. I think you could fuck somebody up if you needed to, because you were the one that goes to fight somebody immediately when we're out and we're all drunk. Like you would be the guy that would go right to, like when I was trying to or I was getting accosted. Rather in the restroom in Minnesota, you were right there, and then you also were like, "Hey, let's go find this motherfucker." And like, let's see what's going on.
Well, I told you to tell the one guy who was talking shit, "Come on over, come see."
Yeah, that was good. And then also when somebody got shoved off a curb at maybe at Cork and Carries or something, you
Tracy and I both got in that guy's face.
Up there, and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" So hey, that's something that
I got all three of us pegged as Sopranos characters. So I kind of in my head I so for me
pegged, huh?
Well, no one's going to be Ralphie. Don't worry, okay?
That's what I was worried about.
I don't want cheese grater.
I was getting the cheese grater.
No, you're not cheese grater.
Not anywhere near me.
I mean, for me, MSS is like Bobby Bacala, man. He's you're a lovable guy. That's what it is. You got a lovableness to you. That's what it is.
Bobby doesn't get killed, so that's good.
He gets all the way to the end. Well, he gets killed at the very end.
Yeah.
Treasy to me, Treasy to me is Johnny Sack. Because Johnny Sack is a pragmatist and is willing to meet you halfway, but if you cross that motherfucker, you will never hear the end of it. You will be on his shit list forever. And Johnny Sack had a real bad temper, and he would put the screws to you if you gave him some shit. So that, to me, that's you, kind of like that. That's the way you operate. And for me,
I 100% thought you were going to tell me that I was Vito's kid because I look like a Puerto Rican whore. That's what I thought you were going to tell me.
That was the best of those Spirit Halloween costumes that came out.
Yes, that was
the best.
number one.
Because
I spit out my coffee when I saw that in the morning.
But like, even if a Puerto Rican whore looked like that, would you want to fuck that Puerto Rican whore? Probably not. No, I don't.
Thanks, John. Appreciate the drink. Pegged. So is Beef Vito. No, but Vito was a good earner. He was one of the best earners in the family too.
That is the biggest thing they fucked up in that whole series. Like, and Tony knew it. Tony knew that like they shouldn't give a shit.
That's why he didn't want to get rid of him. He wanted to keep the money flowing, man. He's money over everything else.
Johnny Cakes. Yeah, no. So who are you, Loaf?
I mean, in my mind, I'm more like Silvio. I'm more like the second guy who's helping out the top guy, kind of like trying to give advice, trying to think clearly, that sort of shit.
In that, I like the Silvio comparison, but I think you're more Tom Hagen than you are Silvio.
Okay.
Because I don't think you would. And spoiler alert to people who haven't watched Sopranos in 20 years, I don't think that you would be able to pull off the Adriana scene. Like I don't think you got that in you. No. I don't think you got that in you.
I totally disagree, but I appreciate.
You could have. Okay.
Oh, you can kill a bitch.
Shit.
Okay. Yeah. All right then.
I hope our wives all watch this so they know what they're in for if they become a
She was
snitch.
just a fiance though, so it was okay.
He's actually in the new season of White Lotus that I watched the first episode.
Yeah, I saw that he was in that. I saw that show's coming out again, and I look at every time I look at that show, I think that looks horrible.
It's not bad.
That looks just like pure pain. All show. I don't want any of that.
I don't know. The first season was really good. And the second season, it doesn't seem to like go back to the first season, so you're good. The second season like is in Italy, and the other one was in Hawaii. I liked it. I thought it was good. So.
All right, well, I'll trust you on that, and I'm never going to watch it. But now it's time. It's time for the thank yous. It's thank you time, guys. And I'll go first because I want to just drop this link one more time and just say thank you to everybody who is buying those 108 day tickets ahead of everybody else.
I'm sure we're like closing out.
We have,
on like
we have not announced this anywhere else. So this is pure YouTube watchers that are getting in on this first. And the link's there again. Thank you, everybody, for buying these tickets. And we will see you then. It's going to be
buy one, Josh.
It is going to be an incredible time. I'm so excited for this. That point of the year is just such a desolate time. And with no Sox Fest, it makes it even more so. So it's just going to be great to it'll be a while before we see all you guys. And it's just that great midpoint in between the season and the end of the year. And also the dead of winter. Like you get past the holidays and you're like, oh, fuck, how long until it's breathable outside? And this is a great night to get out there and drink whatever's in this glass because it's everybody's liquors in this one. So I can't wait to see everybody for that, and I'm excited that we were able to get the space again for this, and it just all worked out, and I'm excited for it. I'm very, very happy, and so thank you everybody who bought those. Beef, who you thinking tonight?
I don't know if it's a thank you or a GFY, but all the Han bots. I thought we had killed them off last year, and I was a little bit sad about it, kind of. I didn't realize that I was sad about it. I was glad they were gone, and then I had a void, and now they're back, and I'm so happy to see them out there crying about Jerry Reinsdorf, totally neglecting the terrible job that the GM has done. I love it. I'm so glad they're back. I'm thinking about doing a blog, my top 5 Han bots on Twitter. I'm thinking about doing that. I might put that out there next week.
Well, I mean, he just got his guy. It hasn't even been a week, and they're already, Jerry's not going to spend. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. I mean, come on, guys. Fucking wake up and smell the fucking coffee. The guy's been doing the same thing every fucking year he's been there.
Only 10 years, not enough proof. Not enough proof.
Whatever.
So someone asked in the comments, what's included on 108 day?
Oh, don't you worry about that.
So I will just say this. I will say that so 108 day is we get together at Reggie's.
Yep.
It's a lot of people from White Sox Twitter come out. It's a big gathering, and there's 2 panels, at least 2 panels. We'll see what happens this year, but there's at least 2 panels, and the first panel is our friend from Sox Machine, Josh Nelson. He hosts that panel. He has guests, and it's all White Sox talk. And then there's a second panel that is us, the 3 of us plus guests. And we just do kind of this, but a little, in Beef Loaf's case, way drunker. And in mine and my Summer's case, way drunker as well. But yeah, it's just a great time to kind of do this all live and do 2 different panels, and it's a lot of White Sox talk, and there's a lot of just we're close enough to the season where we can start to think about what's going to happen during the year and think about what's left to do in the off season. So it's just a great time, and it's a gathering of all the craziest people in the 108.
And I'll say this, Chorizo, that not only is it fucking us getting there to talk with people, we're also hey, it's a reconnecting because we haven't seen each other for so long. Yeah. But also, you're walking home with a parting gift that you will not find anywhere else in White Sox.
That is true.
That is true.
I didn't want to spoil it. I don't want to
talk too much about it. We're not going to talk too much about it. But I put the order in today, so
Beautiful.
We should be good. And I said, hey, don't worry about this. I don't need this till middle of December. So we're gonna have that, and literally, I mean, everyone is gonna walk home with one of these, and they're gonna be so happy that they have one. Trust me.
And Brewhan Luke is right. I will tell Steve-O to shut the fuck up right in the middle of the panel. These panels get a little raunchy, and I will scream at the crowd if they're out of line. And also, Treasy will edit the podcast if Billy Wire says some shit we don't want on the podcast.
That has to happen sometimes.
And SPF, no, we cannot afford Sarah J. If we were going to blow the budget on something, we were going to blow the budget on local aides performing high five and MFer to introduce us as we walk in. That would be the best thing. That would be what I would like. But Sarah J in the bathroom, too expensive. We looked into it, way too expensive.
Not happening.
I mean, it's $180 for a cameo.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you check out our cameo prices. It's insanity. It's insanity. So yeah.
MSS, who you thinking?
So hey, I don't have a thank you. I have a and I don't have a fuck you. I have a go and good luck you. And I'm gonna shout out my guy, the starting quarterback for the SHS Golden Warriors, the Sterling High School Golden Warriors, Kale Ryan, who is going into Sycamore tomorrow and is going to take on the Sycamore, I don't know, trees or whatever the fuck they are, right by DeKalb, in the ISHA football playoffs, 5A, I think they are. So he's the starting quarterback. Good luck, buddy. We're all behind you. I'm going to tweet this out to make sure that everybody knows that I'm tweeting it out, that we ding. You guys are huge underdogs in this match. According to the lines Luke sent us, they are 25.5-point underdogs. So fuck them up, Warriors. I'm going to send that right to Kale, and I'm going to send that, play it in the locker room. Your most famous SHS alumni right here. White Sox alumni. Okay, 21.5, whatever. I'm sorry. Okay, 25.5, whatever. But fuck it, yeah. Let's go, Warriors. Fuck him up. All right. That's my. Let's go.
Do it.
I love it. And guys, I lived through drinking this, so cheers to you guys. And we will see you all very soon.